Hello, hello.
Good morning.
Good day to you. Hi. Hi. How's everybody feeling?
Okay.
Going good.
Okay, okay. Good, good. We'll wait. I think we'll wait to see if Shannon's gonna join, and then we may have a new guest, Amanda, maybe joining as well. So we'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll get started. Today is a little bit of woohoo talk, you guys. I know this is very valuable. And I want you guys to join me on the journey that I continue to take and that you're on right now. You've been on your whole life. And I just want to have us put some simple tools in place to recognize the pattern, apply a new one, and make sure that we're operating in how Christ sees us rather than how we have aligned with how we see us. And it becomes a very resistant battle that we go through every minute of the day. They say that 90 something odd percent of your thoughts are negative, and this is an area that's going to get you through through the muck when you are down and out, when you're not feeling good. It's something that I had to go through more recently, and so I may share a little bit of that experience. A little, I'm still letting it breathe a little bit, so we'll see if I go that deep today. But we'll I'm gonna try to help you guys out without helping myself. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna dive in just a minute. Cool. What's up, Shannon? Thanks for joining. Awesome.
Sorry, it's chaos over here, so I'll be muted.
Oh, okay. It's not, and I think I get it. I get you. All right. So I'm gonna need you guys' participation today. Oh, I think I just pressed the wrong. And no, don't do that to me. All right, we're gonna start and open up. I guess we're 3 minutes in. Oh, hey, you're on the big screen. You're on the big screen,
Yeah,
kiddo.
I'm dead, so I was like, let's get the computer out. Hey, look at that. Say good morning, everybody.
Oh man, it looks like David.
Yeah, he's slowly like copy paste of David.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty cutie.
All right. I'm glad you brought that. We're gonna talk about the kid. We're gonna talk about the 8-year-old you. And I want you guys to really think deeply. Now, you probably don't have to go too deep. This is probably something that you did today. If your 8-year-old self walked into this room right now and told you she was trying to get healthy, she was trying to get fit, how would you talk to her? If the 8-year-old you walked in this room and said, I want to be a healthy adult mom, how would you talk to that 8-year-old?
Um, so for me, just jumping in, but I was like, I always had a lot of insecurities, even about like my body and everything when I was little. So like this was something that's always been there, just like really insecure about looks and stuff. And so it's just yeah, I would just tell her like love yourself because this, you get one body and be good to it and don't be hard on yourself, be thankful for what God's given you and you're a perfect creation in his eyes and so don't worry about what other people think.
Amen to that.
Yeah, would agree.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. And you guys probably came across some kids that may look up to you. Reba shared a good experience. Man, okay, I got to put this out there. Reba, like, wow, what did we do yesterday? 32 like on your toes push-ups. Like
He's
no
strong.
joke. No, no, not the knees, like modified 32 push-ups down, up. And she told me about a story she had with her nephew that they you had a push-up competition and like he repped
Yeah.
them out super fast. And that's kind of the details of the story. And she just took her time and she kind of knew her number, got to it. But I told her like if you could rep out 20 on your toe push-ups, you could do more push-ups than 98% of men you come across. And
Ooh.
not to like just harp on dudes and guys being weak, but that's just the reality of it. I've done a lot of assessments in homes for over the past now probably going on 16 and a half years. And yeah, if you beat 20, you can beat most men. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Good stuff, Reba.
Thanks, Firm.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, yeah, she knocked it out. She had a really good assessment yesterday. It was cool. It was cool. All right.
Thanks.
Now going back to that, you've come across some children that will ask you about how do I accomplish this dream or what do you feel, Unc? Like, what do you feel about and the tone that we exhibit is a specific nurturing, catering, loving tone. Now, is that the same tone that you use with yourself? And you guys know where I'm going with this. Is that the same self-talk that you've been able to do that? Is it yes, the same? Is it not even close? Is it I don't know? I want some of your guys' responses. What does that tone sound like?
It wasn't that way. I mean, the majority of my life. It's so funny you asked that question. And my initial thought was because I don't have kids. And so I have not practiced or walked through this. My initial thought was like, okay, they want to be healthy. Let's talk about good food. It was like a 2 second part. And then I was like, wait a second. And that's just like what my dad specifically like ingrained in me, but not in like the nicest way. And I was like, no, that's not what I would say to them. I was like, I would be kind and I would tell them to just be kind to themselves and treat their body kindly. And like, if you want to be healthy, love it, nurture it, and not like give them some lecture on everything that they're doing wrong at 8 years old. And
Mm,
it was just interesting how that was like my instinct. And then I was like, wait a second. And then I was like, that's what you've been training yourself like through these last few years to really do. And just be kind to yourself. So, I mean, the instinct isn't necessarily kind, but I do try to practice it. I work really hard to practice it every day.
isn't that interesting how it's so automatic when someone who is so fragile, young, still developing, the automation of that tone just comes off with love. But when you realize that we're our own little 8-year-old. I'm a little 8-year-old boy inside. I get hurt. I've got feelings. And, I sometimes use the examples of what came across in my childhood on how I should be talking to myself or the examples that I use to be like, oh, that's how I should do it. And it changes. It's like a total harsh tone. It's a you suck. It's like, why did you fall
Yeah.
short, dude? You just fail all the time. Like, let's talk about that. Who else? What tone are you using with yourself? Is it the same as the 8-year-old that you would talk to? Is it
Well,
different?
for me, I was always under the disillusionment of being taller, bigger boned, muscular. And of course, I'm hanging out with 5'4", skinny bone people. And I'm like, I thought I was fat. I was not nearly anything near that. I was very lean and fit, but I just so for me, I would probably acknowledge someone's feelings. Hey, I understand you're feeling like this, but let's look at some facts. Uh, for your height and your whatever, you're good, and so yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't never discount anybody's feelings because feelings are feelings, but you can show them the truth or the fallacy of their feelings.
Got it. Got it. How do you show them the truth and the fallacy of your own feelings? How do you talk to yourself? What
I
does
re-
that look like?
I research and hey, how can I do this better? I've been a little off track, and so the numbers have gone up a little bit on me. And at first, I got really mad, I got so mad. And why did you do this? And oh, if it's just easy to gain back on, I don't want to do this anymore. Because it just seemed like it came. But of course, there's water fluctuations, whatever. But I was really angry for a while, and so it was kind of like, oh, this is just going to go back to where it was. And I'm like, you know what? No, 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 Teresa, you got to say it's not, because you're going to get back on to what you need to do. And make that decrease again. But I don't know. It was kind of reminded me of old patterns, and I was kind of like freaking out a little bit because I've had too many of those old patterns too long, too often. So, but we do have to have grace for ourselves and say, hey, yeah, I messed up. I'm human. I wanted to eat what I wanted to eat. It was Super Bowl. I
Oh.
love the appetizers. We had a plethora of appetizers, and I'm like, I was having fun.
Yeah, and then you know yourself and you know that you get back on track, you know you're in framework, right? So
Yeah.
I got from that, Teresa, that you may have a bit of a self-reflection and you know it's very probably direct, like, hey, you know, you should have done better, this, that, and the other. And so that's where I really want to tap in on is almost every call that I get on with a gal, it's always like, I just need motivation, I need motivation, I need motivation. And I go, well, what if it's not motivation? Like, what if you are just like adding emotional exhaustion and a harsh like feedback loop system. And that's what's really throwing you off because the motivation, yeah, we'll get every so often like a January 1st, let's change, it's a new year. We'll get like, oh, the sun is coming out. That was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Everyone's like, oh, the sun's coming. I should probably, you know, I've got more calls, you know, in the DMs and more comments. Like, as soon as the sun comes out, everyone's like, oh, yeah, I remember I did want to do this. I do want to wear a sleeveless shirt and whatever they want to wear, right? So it goes to the harsh operating system that is going to derail you every time because we have to realize that we are human and we are emotional creatures. And the more we're aware of that, the more we can captivate in that moment and make the decision and recognize it. So when you say like, I'm not motivated, you know, I don't have the willpower, what do you feel like underneath that? Like, have you really thought about that? What are you truly feeling when you say you have no motivation? Is it you're overwhelmed? Is it you're tired? Is it, you know, you're grieving? You're anxious? Like, chime in. Tell me what you feel when you feel that moment where you don't feel motivated.
For me this week, it has been the overwhelm. Uh, I will say though that even in my personal life chaos that's happening, like I still stayed consistent with not overeating. I'm not doing midnight snacking, and I've seen the scale move and um my sleep quality is improved. I'm not having that midday crash either. So it's like I know that even though I'm super stressed and anxious and stuff right now, but like at least I'm still headed in the right direction. Like I haven't derailed myself. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to like maintain the balance in the chaos
Mm.
right now.
Feel that thing. I feel it. I feel it. I feel you. I feel you, fam. Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to take some inward coaching, some inward relying on the love of you loving yourself and knowing that that's not how God sees you at all. God doesn't see you by the measuring stick. He is, and you think about your kids, all right? I know Reba, sorry, Reba. You got it, but you know, I was watching a podcast. I wasn't even a podcast. It was the David Bayer's 3-day immersive course that I took last year. And he goes, you know, a lady was on there. It's like, I don't feel deserving. Like, I don't this. She's like, well, tell me about your life. You start digging deeper. And he goes, okay, where's your daughter? Who's that? The kids are in the background. She's like, oh, that's my kids. And she started talking about the kids. She's like, man, I would do anything for them. Like, man. And he goes, why? He's like, because I love them. They're my kids. Like, you know, you guys have some friends, some families, some parents. Like, you have someone that you would do anything for. And he goes, well, you know, so what if your kids just like did a bunch of stuff that were wrong and stuff? It's like, I don't care. I would give anything. And he goes, well, why don't you think about that's how your Lord and Savior thinks about you all the time, no matter what the heck you do. No, who you, there's no, and that should live inside of you. Okay. But we want to just kind of go back to, you know, what Shannon was harping on is that the nervous system is hacked right now. It's on overdrive. And that's where motivation is going to die. And that's what happens often. Happens often is we're motivated and then the crash comes and we go, up, that's gone. And now I don't feel safe. I'm in survival mode. I know I'm trying to build some habits. And then we start kind of self-bullying ourselves. Like, dude, you always just fail. Like, dude, you always do that. Why do you go that way? Why do you and I think that's very clear. Like, yes, there's some self-reflection, but where do we come in and go like, stop? Like, what's one thing that you guys have said to yourself that's a harsh sentence? And I want to hear some of your guys' like internal talk. Like, I want to hear what that is. You could write in the chat, you could just share. Like, what's one thing more recently that you have said, like, wow, that was a harsh sentence, a harsh metaphor, or not a metaphor. I guess you're not speaking in parables like Jesus did, but like, what is a harsh thing that you have said recently about your health journey, about where you're at in your progress, about who you are as a person? What does that look like? What does it sound like? What is it?
For me, just recently, I just don't care anymore. And that's not true. That's so not true. I do care. But it's easier to say I don't care than it is to say, I don't know. When you feel like you're going backwards, it's kind of like a protection mechanism for me. I don't know what it is. You know, yeah,
Well, girl, you just hit it on the head. Your brain is set up to protect you.
yeah,
And when you feel unsafe, your body is not it's not your body, not your it's not it doesn't like you. It's set up to protect you.
yeah,
And that's it. And it's simple and as simple as that. It's like, I don't care. I just don't care anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's been my go-to in the past, and it just recently hit me again, and I was like, it's an emotional battle. Sorry.
And it may sound like, I'm so inconsistent. Like I said earlier, I always mess this up. That's one of the things I do. I'm like, man, Firm, you're such a knucklehead. You always are doing that.
Yeah.
So I'll share a little insight with you in that topic where the last 48 hours, 72 hours were really tough. And it went to you guys probably saw my social post, and it was a post of, when you do this online thing, you're all in online, and my life is pretty much on display. Okay, but there's parts obviously I'm leaving out, and it's helped me become free. It really has. When you can sit there and show your faults, show that you suck, this is more of a therapy for me to
Yeah.
go, everybody knows. And I learned this from some men at the men's advance trip. They said some things when we were up on the mountain that no one will talk about, no one will say. And some guys confided in me, and we went out on the rock, and they're like, Firm, like you seem like you got it together, and da 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 da. I said, I think it's backwards. I think you got it together because what you just said was true freedom.
Yeah.
Like nothing, no one could tell you nothing now. You let it all out. There's no hiding. There's no this. And I'm not saying go this, that, and the other, but I got online and I'm gonna try to just keep it. And you guys got me all emotionally. So I got on and I was like, you know what? Today's an emotional day. My kids are turning 18. Time is going really fast. My dad was talking about a lot of chronic issues that he was dealing with. You see your dad as a superhero. And I got on and I was like, yo, I'm just gonna talk about this is sad. Like, man, it's coming faster than ever. The night before, I was like, Dad, you're getting old. Like, that's not my dad. My dad looks very young, you guys, very young spirited, but he deals with this. And I said some things and I kind of explained the situation, and it stepped on some people's toes and it made them feel very uncomfortable to the point where I had my entire family on a group message Monday morning, it was just 2 days ago, saying how I'm so wrong for doing that,
Oh.
how um, this, that, and the other, and a little bit of back history. I'm already not, I'm kind of giving excuses, but I'm not. I don't have a good standing with my dad's wife. This woman has, I don't know if this is kind of where she's at, maybe the insecurities or whatever, but since they married about 14 years ago, she's made it a point that we're not her kids. We'll never be, and
Oh.
pretty much kind of keeps my dad away from me. I have two kids. He has grandkids, right? So it's a lot of little rolling history, and I let it slide. she used to talk trash about the first time I met her, her two sons were talking smack and, yeah, we'll beat your son. We'll beat him in these sports. He sucks. Da, da. That was the first time I met her kids. And I'm like, oh, apple don't fall too far from the tree. Like, okay, guys. And, because I was a predominant athlete and they were baseball players and whatever. It was a little competition, but just no room for it. So my dad struggles to get up here. He lives in San Jose and I've lived out here for some time. He has gone to see his stepsons tenfold who live in Sacramento and has yet to see me. I haven't done anything to my dad. My dad's my hero. Like he raised me. And you just see how the distance has been because of, I feel, this entity, the enemy, not her fault, but whatever's driving this has kept it that way. And I think it's a lot of control, and she does control a lot of things. So it's a lot of stem from that. But I didn't go in and say nothing. I said the environment that he's in, I said, is not conducive to his rheumatoid arthritis and the issues he's having. It's getting worse, 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 worse. Didn't go into detail, but I said, this is very sad. And I started crying. Like I couldn't stop the emotion. It hit me all at once, hit me right there. And after I got off that, I said, you know what? In my head, I felt like the enemy's like, you won't put that up. You're scared. You won't let people see you cry. Come on. Sound like a little girl. Like, come on, who you? And I felt like the spirit said, people need to understand, people need to hear, people need to know that their parents and the time is dwindling down and that it may cause an awareness. And Christ calls us to be kind, not nice, kind with righteousness. And I put it out there. No one said anything. My dad doesn't even watch my videos. My mom and my stepmom support all my stuff. And then everything hit the fan yesterday, and it put everybody in a pickle. And so my dad reached out and he's like, "You need to take that down. You need to apologize to my wife. You need to do this." And and then the family jumped in, grandma and there, and they're like, "You're wrong, you're wrong." And they haven't even seen the video, so they're already just on their own gossip mode. And in that moment, I said, "You can either crumble right now, or you can stand on business and what you truly believe and how you feel, and that is all you can do." And I had to coach myself up. But you know where I started? I said, Firm, come on, man. You always say some outlandish stuff, man. And at the end of the day, I am on assignment. I am here to help end people's suffering. I know my heart. I know where God sees me, and I know my intent behind all of that. And I apologize. I understand that you guys are feeling a certain way, but it is uncomfortable. And you get around me, and you're probably going to be a little uncomfortable, but it's there to grow you. It's there to help you out. And so I stood on that, and I let them know. I said, "Hey, you guys, y'all need to chill out because there's more with this. We can make more videos, guys. But it's not that big of a deal. Back up." And so that's what I had to do. And it had to take some of that, like, instead of Furman, you always mess up. Furman, you should have done different. Said, Furman, you're great. You did a great job. You love yourself, you love your family, and you're sticking your neck out because when your dad passes, you're not going to regret that you spoke truth about a situation out of love and kindness. The route that he's going, I said, Dad, I love you. Respectfully, I'm not taking my video down. You want to talk face to face? We can definitely have that conversation. But right now, sleeves are rolled up because you're trying to. He did like a group message, put the whole family in, and then did this chat GPT like explanation of why I should be taking the video down. And so that was that. And now we're here. I feel amazing. I feel so uplifted. And yeah, I was almost to the point of angry with God, doing paces on Tuesday night or Monday night in my backyard saying, God, you told me to be real. You told me to go deep. You told me to show this emotion to people. You told me to tell them about my downfalls, and I'm doing it. And this is what I'm getting. And he says, this is not supposed to be an easy road, son. Like you want to be there, you want to help people, you want to be on assignment. It's what it's going to look like some days. And
Yep.
that's where we're at. And I hope that you guys can now see this. And back to the topic, when you say, Teresa, man, I don't care. Now rewrite that as if you were talking to your 8-year-old self. How do we change that conversation? How would you then go, 8-year-old self says, I do want to be healthy. And you're like, I don't care. I don't care about your health. Who cares about it? It's just going to suck anyway. Let's rewrite that. How do
Uh,
we talk to that 8-year-old Teresa? How would you rewrite that for us?
so I'm saying I don't care about the 8-year-old self.
So you're talking as if you're talking to your 8-year-old self.
Oh,
Okay, when the 8-year-old self says, "I just failed. It was Super Bowl. I'm going backwards on my plan. Like, I tried these before and I keep messing up." And then you just go, the older Teresa just told the 8-year-old, said, like, "I don't care anymore. I just don't care." Okay, how rewrite that on how you would talk to yourself as if you were talking to the 8-year-old, knowing you're self-aware. I know I'm like confusing you guys. I hope you guys, anybody can help me explain this or translate it, please. Men are not the best at describing things. I learned that a long time ago. So how would you now talk to your 8-year-old self, knowing that's pretty much what you're doing?
I guess I would say to myself, it's important to care for yourself because it outlines the future of how you're going to be, you know,
Mm,
and try to say, you know, you are important. You deserve
mm.
to take care of yourself. You deserve, you know, time away from your obligations. And it's not selfish to invest in yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart, it's one day. You've been in this program for how long? Come on, it's one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're going backwards, but you get back on track. You get back on track real quick,
Yeah.
right? I get a check in from you every morning. Up, nutrition goal hit, up, this hit, up, hit this hit, up, this hit. I get the notifications.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're locking in. There's
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it. So you can do you're great. You deserve this. You do care. You are gonna make changes. You just enjoyed your Super Bowl. Cool. Happens once a year. Awesome. Right? We all just got out of the holidays. Everybody was feeling it. Everybody. We still have the echo effect of it. All
Yeah.
right, who else? Who else? Talk to me. What's one harsh sentence that you say to yourself? Come on, we're going in the deep today, y'all. Going in the deep.
I'll say that I've been telling myself that I suck at this and I'm not going to be successful and like what am I doing? I'm just like wasting your time and um so that's where I've been. But then I'm seeing the progress, so I've been trying to fight that, because like I see the numbers changing. I see my like the fact that like I slept so good last night and I woke up this morning and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, like the last couple of nights I had just my sleep like really clearly shows that even though I haven't been doing it perfect, I'm doing something right."
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
That's good. Now we're gonna rewrite that, Shannon. We'll go a little deeper. In a positive note, how would you rewrite that to the 8-year-old girl? The harsh sentence you're saying, yeah, you always mess up, you're wasting people's time. Talking to your 8-year-old self. Or you have a 7-year-old. How would you rewrite that to them?
Well, you don't have to be perfect.
Mm,
Okay. It's okay to just do your best. And not every day is going to go perfect, and you can't sit here and beat yourself up over it. Otherwise, you're never going to progress. If you're sitting here upset about how, because my son is a perfectionist, he's totally me. And so we have that issue where, like, when he's doing, like, he likes to do guided art. And if he can't do it exactly how the artist is doing. Mind you, he's 6 years old and he's just starting this. But if it is doesn't look exactly like what he's doing, he like melts down. And I have to tell him, I'm like, you can't sit here and then work from a place of frustration either. You have to like take a break, gather yourself, and then come back and try again. And then he does that. And every time he does that, he's able to do it to his satisfaction. So, yeah.
yeah. Good. Sweet. Sweet. Good stuff. Thanks. Good share. And that kind of sums up the point of this. I don't think we talk about it enough. And again, it gets very kind of not I always say woohoo because the guy I follow like talks about this woohoo stuff, but it's so true. So identity before intensity is what I'm trying to get at. Okay. Identity before intensity, understanding that if your identity is rooted in I'm behind, I'm broken, I'm bad at this, I just suck, then your behaviors are always going to match that. And the more momentum we pick that up, the behaviors are going to always match who you say you are. Okay. And it starts from the internal piece. And so you know how that works, right? You know, the stress picks up, the cortisol hits. When the cortisol hits, the cravings hit, the sleep goes bad. And the poor sleep, then, we can talk about insulin sensitivity and all that stuff that we always talk about, and
And
that
then
harsh talk in the loop.
first and all that. It's like this vicious
The
cycle,
loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you got to realize that that moment you're now trying to build discipline on a nervous system that is simply attacked and unsafe at the time and moment. And women do not do good with this. Okay. And I think I explained this to Rose. I was talking to Rose yesterday. Shout out you guys. We're going to be on the announcements this morning. I got to film with Rose for the announcements. And so we were chopping it up afterwards. And
Nice.
and I said, girl, like, yeah. He's like, it's just like I'm impatient and I want to drop 20 pounds. I said, okay, okay. She's like, but I think my age, I think she's like 60, 67 or 60, something like that. And I said, right now, like you're recovering, girl, you're doing so. So Rose is training 3 times a week, and you guys, she's in like phase. Some of you guys are in phase 2 or 3. I think Reba's in 2 or 3. These workouts are like hour and a half, y'all. Like they're up there. So you're doing that, you're doing the spin, you're doing all this, and we kind of identify like this is a lot of the coping thing. Like, and I told her I would talk a little bit about this, not too much in depth, but your body is constantly just being hit. And exercise, I don't care if somebody trainer's saying you got to train hard, hard, and you guys know my belief system. Like that's the cherry on top. It's definitely good for you, but for women, you don't have what men have. Men have this masculinity invisible shield that we carry around all day. That's why when your husband or your friend or whoever speaks to you in a kind of just not a normal tone, but more of like a little stern tone, it could blow you back. It could blow you back. You're like, whoa, why is your tone like that? Or if you guys could yap at us, all I say yap. If you guys could like hit us with some stuff, and we're like, okay, cool. You good? But if I go, hey, don't do that, because you don't have that invisible masculine shield that men have and men had to carry. So you could feel unsafe real quick. And it doesn't take much, but it becomes the norm at times. And that's why I go understand what your identity is. That will lead to your intensity next. Okay.
I
So
like
any question?
I like
Sorry.
what Shannon said about basically, feeling like she's stuck or whatever she was saying, but still recognizing that she's sleeping better, that she's still going forward. I have, made some great gains with my health, but it's like I don't know. It's like those things tend to be forgotten, and I think you once said that once you get to where you want, it's never enough. And sometimes I'm like, so for her to remind me, hey, you still sleep great. You still feel lots better than you did. Yeah, I forgot. So I appreciated being reminded of, yes, I still have benefits, even though I'm not per se where I would like to be or I don't know.
That is part of, and if you guys need this form, so what I have is a decision matrix. And I think Reba and I talked on this a couple times. What does Queen Reba say? And what does insecure, not feel good about herself say? Write the list out. If you get really down in the dark, that'll pick you up. If you can really sit down and go, okay, insecure Furman says, oh, dude, you just dropped the ball. Oh, dude, you know you should have remembered that. Oh, dude. Okay, what does King Furman say? I guarantee you'll find a list and a stack of evidence that you're like, up, case closed. Firm, your insecure self is guilty of taking you down a rabbit hole that you shouldn't be down because way you stacked up, I'm feeling better. I'm doing this. I've been in the program. I showed up for myself. I'm forward thinking all that's going to add up tremendously. And that's where you guys know you're doing an excellent job in that area. And it could just really prove that point. So yeah, exactly what Shannon said. That's the decision matrix. Just said, no, I am doing this. I did do that. And I did do that. And I showed up for this. And I showed up for that. Okay, enemy, shut it up. We're good. For what God says about me, that's what I choose to believe. And
Amen.
every lie the enemy has casted against me, it's there because he's there to kill. and destroy. There's nothing else he's there to do. Kill and destroy. That's it. That's his main objective. And that's one way to do it. So I want to just kind of highlight some framework. And this today was an eye-opening. I was working with my mentors last week, and what we they had me do is we went on to Reddit. Have you guys heard of Reddit? Okay, Reddit is a like it's like Google. It's like Google, but it's a question that people ask. So I go on Reddit now, and for all of my content, for everything I talk about, I go directly to specific taglines of why women lack motivation. And then I look at all the 283 comments of everybody that's commenting and saying in it. And I go and grab all that information and all the data that every woman ever said from it. Then I plug it into my chat GPT and I have a four-pillar framework that I always work off of. Work off identity, work off framework, work off I forgot the other two. There are two new ones that I created. And so I relate that to exactly what the women are saying in all on planet Earth right now. And that's where we came together with this topic today and the topics moving forward. And it just hit so hard where I'm like, do I got to talk about it? Yes, because I needed to use it. I had to use it the other day. Like this is so important. So here's the framework that I want to just kind of you want to remember it. This is something I'm going to keep in my intellectual property folder for future reference. But the first step is the three S's, and the first step is to see her. See her means notice the tone and rewrite it, just like we just did. What is that sentence you're saying? How do we rewrite that? Very, very, very strategic. In the moment, if you could do that, the rest just flows. Like that is the first step. Oh, dude, oh, you just missed the mark. And I think I'm set up. It's easier for some people than others. I think men have a better time with that because we kind of like are just we're kind of dodo heads in the background. So like we miss cues all the time. Like ask your husband or your friends. And so it kind of like, oh, that's what you were feeling? Oh, I didn't even see it. But like for women, it's like you didn't understand that was going on. So men rewrite it all the time. Like, nah, they'll stop tripping one day. Like we'll just get over it. So notice the tone and rewrite it. And then number two is you want to shrink it. How do you shrink it? So, for example, Shannon, I'm just falling short. You too, Teresa. Super Bowl. How do you shrink it? Maybe you go snack on a protein. You're at Super Bowl. Well, there's some chicken. I love all the sweets. Had three cupcakes. Take 20 seconds to just double some protein in your mouth. I guarantee that'll rewrite your story right then and there. Right? Oh, I didn't miss my workout event. Do 2 seconds of stretching. Go for a walk. Go for a 3-minute walk. Shrink whatever yours in your head. Just like Shannon said, well, I'm doing this. Well, I just went for a walk. So forget everything. I'm off track. I just went for a walk. And that's the difference between healthy individuals and non. It is no secret. Reba gave me the book last week, 2 weeks ago, girl, the greatest salesman in the world. And that's what they talked about was like, it is not about successful people. They just learn how to stack way more good than bad. Way more great habits than the bad ones. There's still the dirt. It's all there. It's not going anywhere. We're all sinners. We all fall short. And so you shrink it. Find one habit that's instant, that you can shrink it. Cool. You're out to eat, you're eating whatever. Hey, can you give me two extra eggs? I know I don't really want to eat the extra egg, but I got a stack of pancakes. I got some bacon and it's looking pretty sloppy. I need two more eggs. Thank you. Shovel those things down. Like those are the little micro things that you can do, but you still have to rewrite the tone that you're talking to yourself in that moment. Okay. Another thing is then you can stack it. Okay. Stacking it is attaching it to something that you already do. All right. So, hey, I don't, and this is where it gets difficult. So you're falling off plan. Stacking was the example I just said is it could work. Actually, the third piece of it, you are eating terrible at the Super Bowl thing, but because you know you're eating terrible, you're stacking it with seeking out protein that's at the party. Or you're stacking it with, I'm going here now, I'm going to the party already. Well, I'm going to stack it with the 5-minute walk while everybody's chit-chatting halftime and going back and forth on Super Bowl shows and stuff like that. I know that was a big one in the news. Um, there's a lot of things going on with that one. That one's crazy. All right. So stack it with something. Especially if you're struggling with your system that you have in place. How like when you get your coffee in the morning, what can you stack that with? You guys have been stacking a lot. Like you know. You stack lemon water, then you stack your protein before you go to the gym. You stack your stuff before you start your day. Like you guys are doing a lot of that stacking, and that's very helpful to staying on track. Okay. So I'll ask this for you guys. What's one thing that you're in this kind of segment of talk that you're committing to today when it comes to your self-talk, how you rewrite it, how you either shrink it with using the 3S framework, just identifying your identity before like going into all in the intensity. Like what's one tiny thing that you learned from today that you can change or start to change or be very aware of that you're going to commit to?
Okay. I didn't actually like talk about my like little childhood thing, so it's like might sound a little weird compared, but like I realized as you guys were talking, um, I'm gonna commit. So it's so funny because we're talking about like um not being perfectionists and these little wins, but for me something that like limits me is not being good enough, and so it's like my negative thing, only being capable of like so much. Like that was repeated to me as a child, and not in like the most angry way. I think it was in like an attempt to be like don't worry about it, but it was constantly a comparison of like you're not as good as this person, you don't have that natural ability like this person, so you're not going to be like that person, like it was always a limitation. And so like my negative thing like this week was masked in a pretty little bow of you know what, maybe my body can't lose any more weight, maybe this is where I'm at. And this was like it was like and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I feel beautiful how I am, which is great, but it was actually like it was like little devil wrapped in a pretty bow of like limiting myself of like how far I can go, and not needing perfection. I don't, because it's not what it is, but like just breaking through that ceiling and like being like, no, you're capable of anything you set your mind to. And like, yeah, positive self-talk is really what your body like responds to. And I think, Shannon, were you the one sharing about your mom's cancer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually shared that story this week because I've got some people. Yeah, it
Yeah,
really hit me.
it's a
And
great, like her whole testimony is great too.
yeah, and I have some friends with family going through cancer, which brought it to my mind, but I also think it's applicable even in like this state where it's like, your mind really attaches to like what your body can do and not do. And so just like breaking through that and knowing that I'm capable and have it on those down days, like the Super Bowl days or something like that, like that's not a loss. We're gonna get right back on this course. I'm
Yeah.
gonna show you guys something real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been writing my manifestations every day.
Mhm.
And I go to do today's and do some in the morning, afternoon, and evening. And I go to do the date for the next day of yesterday. I thought I just missed yesterday. And it was like 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, I didn't write down for 2 days. And before I got on here with you guys, I put checked out for 2.3 days, like a third of the day. But we're back at it to wrap it up. And I'm like, okay, we had to check out, but we're back in. We're capable of finishing what we started and being the best that we can be. Anyway, that's what I'm saying to myself this week. That's what
Hey,
I'm working on.
I like it.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
That's good. And not everybody has to share. If you guys, anybody else has anything else, share that what you're committing to either believe today, to rewrite today. Um, Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm right there with Reba because I I almost set the bar low for myself. But I that is what I'm doing is like I'm telling myself I can't, like I'm not ever gonna look a certain way or feel a certain way because like yeah, I had 4 kids and this is what a body looks like after you've had 4 kids, so just accept it. And that's I clearly can, like, I have a friend who I'm like, look at her, like she's had 4 kids and she's doing great. I'm like, maybe I won't have the same exact results, but I can have something like that. It's just about the time and effort. So, and consistency.
Totally can relate. Yeah.
think I think we need to really grasp the idea. And I was talking to, we were at my son's birthday party, and there's all these 17, 18-year-olds, and they're in this transition of life. And so, I'm the OG now. I'm the old guy. And, it's like they look up to me for like weightlifting. I can still take them all in basketball and still hold my reins athletically. So I think that's where I hold a little weight with them. But at the same time, I let them know that your path is so divinely different. There will never be another Teresa, Reba, or Shannon ever on this planet. Ever. And like what it took for you to become a seed, to get to the egg, to become birth is a just mind-blown science, godly, divine thing that will never ever happen in that same sequence ever again for that end of like there's so when you go, oh, I want to be like that, I should be like that, like there's never going to be another you. Like there's never going to be that personality, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you think, the way you feel. Nothing. Like, isn't that just enough to be like, dang, I got it all. Like I got it all. Yeah, there's things to humble me. There's scars of my life. There's always, but it's there to keep you in the parameter to realize that you are so uniquely created in your story and your testimony and your time here on this earth there in the next 20 billion years, there won't be a single Reba. There won't be a single same cell Reba. And that alone is just like a miracle within itself. And so you can be grieving and growing at the same time. This is something we got to get used to. You can be anxious and still making progress. You can be like exhausted, right? Shannon said the chaos is going and still be becoming. Like all these things don't have to be trade off one or another. Oh, because I'm not doing it. No, it could happen at the same time. But as long as we could recognize and rewrite the tone and how we speak about it, when they say life comes from the tongue and death also comes from the tongue. We choose that. Easier said than done, but guess what? You guys are practicing it. You guys are putting in the reps. You guys are doing it. That's why it hurts because guess what? The old self is dying right now and it feels like a real death. It feels like you lost someone that you're never going to get back ever again. And it could be a good thing. It could be that part of you that's like, I'm done with this side of you. I'm done with it. Yeah, it quiets down. It may go for a while. But for me in this past week, I had to die for the old little boy that, when I go back to my family, I'm the only child, the only kid that didn't have anything handed to him, never had to come back to the nest. Like I mean, we're talking about there's some deep stuff. I'm like, y'all getting on me? No, there will never be another Furman. I appreciate you guys, but I am here to break curses, break generational cycles. I am the one, and you could believe it or not believe it. But obviously, we're going to disrupt some things and keep believing that you're the one to break that cycle. It is not too late because you're above ground and God's not done with you. And so I just want to layer it with you will feel convicted, you will, but it's not condemnation. It's not God. And it's not the source saying you're bad. It's saying you desired this. Like you wanted to get in better shape. Like you asked for this. So what do you think was going to come with it? Yeah, I got to build you strong. You wanted to get stronger. You want to be weak? Okay, we can go back to the victim and not caring about your health. Yeah, you go be the weak side, but you asked for this. So this desire is going to cause problems in your life because you desired for greatness. And so, which everything with greatness that's with much responsibility, much is demanded. And I love you guys for sharing and opening your hearts today. I think this was a very, very productive conversation. We got to learn each other a bit more, and this is what the journey's about. And I want to kind of just open it up. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any gripes about what you need to do with your program? I know I need to get back to a couple people about your check-in forms, but let's kind of change the slate here a little bit, or if anybody has anything to add before we close out and end with prayer. I'd love to hear anybody's feedback or questions that they have.
I started reading this book. It's about motherhood, but it's taking you out of mediocre motherhood, and it says it's basically exactly what you were talking about, though. The whole mediocre motherhood fears the future, but Christ-like motherhood trusts God's plan. Mediocre motherhood resents hardship and struggles. Christ-like motherhood welcomes adversity and for the sake of growth. So it's got like that kind of stuff in it. So that's where like even in all aspects, trying to have that mindset of like, okay, well, this is, you know, the scared Shannon versus the Queen Shannon saying, what do we say? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I love the development. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else? All right. I wanted to kind of add one thing that popped in my head. It just kind of relays off of like you guys desire this because you desire a version of you that is in the future. And the more that you can stick to that version and be very clear on what that looks like, what it is, how it is, it's going to keep you encouraged and motivated. Like, who is that Teresa who's a year or 2 years out living in that version of you? What are you doing? What are you saying? Are we middle of the Pacific Ocean on that kayak with like unsurmountable amounts of energy? You've caught a couple fish, like coming back to a nice view of the ocean, and you're like, man, my life has really just changed. This is crazy, husband. Like, you too, you're on board, you're appreciating what's going on here, like you see it now. Wow, okay, let's go to here because we got another kayak trip in 2 weeks. Like, what is that clear version of you? Reba, where are you at? Like, what are you doing? Where are you traveling? Who are you talking to? Who are you pouring into to share your story and to go, this is what I thought about myself. This is what I had to overcome. Because you know what? That version of you that you guys have a vision on, whether it's clear or cloudy, it requires this toughness. It requires this layer of you that's going to have to really be analyzed. That thing that I experienced with the family, oh, Furman, you want to run and you want to train up 65 clients, and when I have 65 clients, I'm going to have two assistant coaches. I need four virtual assistants. Like, this is a full steam operation to continue to reach. I need to reach 1,000 clients. Like, that is my dream goal, to sit back on my deathbed and be like, I saved 1,000 people's lives. Like, I added more time onto there. Like, that is it. Who is that person going to be? Oh, are you going to bow down and get all down in the dumps when somebody says they don't like what you say? No, you got to push forward, dude. Like, oh, you want a bigger property so you can move your mom in and she could live on the property and she can garden and do all. Oh, you want that life? You know what that requires in your finances? You know how organized you got to be to get there? Oh, but you're mad because you had to go bring up an Excel spreadsheet and sit down with your wife for 30 minutes to talk about what bills are due this week. Oh, but you want to do this? Like, come on, come on. Like, so start to really get clear on who that future version of you are and realize everything that's happening is perfectly created in a crafted curriculum for you to evolve into that person. And when you start to identify that, that's where the intensity comes. That's where the pull for it goes. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna lean into this. This sucks. Everybody's mad at Firm. Firm's the bad guy. I'm the villain. This sucks, but I'd rather do this because I know the future of me is counting on me to get through this moment right now. So I hope that helped you guys. Any other questions or anything, chime in, and then we're gonna end in prayer. All right, in the chat. Okay, Father God, I just thank you for another. Just thank you for being here. That's it. Real simple. You're here, you're everywhere. You live inside of us at every moment. Thank you for allowing us to tap into you. Really understand that this thing is already figured out. We already get to live in the best ability, the best knowledge and wisdom because we have access to you. And this is the true reconciliation that other people are going to be able to see, feel, and experience every time that we come in their presence. And we just thank you for another day above earth. We thank you for our lungs to be able to expand, our heart to work. We thank you for the chronic conditions that you protected us from, the things that we haven't even seen that could have harmed us, that you have shielded us every single day. Our families, our relatives, are the same thing. Lord, you know me. Lord, I just thank you. I'm just going to keep it clean and simple. We love you. I pray for everyone that is under the sound of my voice, that their day be blessed, that every challenge and every uplifting moment reconciles and shows them who you are more and more and how capable they are because you said they have unlimited potential and nothing can stop anybody that partners with you in this on this earth, Lord. We thank you for that. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And all right, fam. I'll be checking in with
Amen.
y'all individually, and you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Thanks for chiming in.
Bye, everybody.
Amen.
Great.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.